All right, here's the Atherton 130. So it's pretty much built up and ready to go and everything. This is, what is this? This is my third ride or fourth ride, something like that. I'm still dialing it in. I'm still playing around with the damping on the suspension. The sag and preload is fine. So sag in the front is 20%, in the rear is 25%, approximately. And that seems to do really well. But again, I'm playing around with the damping. I set it to, this is rock shocks, both front and rear now. Before I had the float, the Fox Shock Float X Float X in the back, but I switched it to the Deluxe Supreme. What it's called? Deluxe, Super Deluxe. Excuse me, Super Deluxe Ultimate. Because I think that would better mate and match with the Pike front end. And both of these are new for this year, 2023. So it has the buttercups and was it D-Bond AR Plus and all that, all that jazz. And this thing has the this one has the HBO, right? And that's with the air version, it's not adjustable. With the coil version, it is. But it has the, I think it has the HBO, maybe or maybe not. I thought it did, but anyways, whatever the case, they better match each other, and so I just need to dial it in. I've been playing around with tires. I'm using the Delium tires for front and rear. These are the fast tread. There's four of them. That's fast, steady, versatile, and rugged. So I'm using the fast for both the front and rear. But the front I have a light casing, and the rear I have the all-around casing. I also had a steady rear, tire, steady thread, and I tried that. I did not like it. It's and I'll talk more about that in a different video. But I didn't like it, so I threw back the fast. I think this is much better, even though it seems like it's a front tire, but it works really well as a rear tire as well. Anyways, let's get riding. I just did my warm up and stretched, so now it's time to start riding. All right, so let's see what else with this bike do I have. I have the Bird Hawk 30 wheels on here. Bird Hawk 30 wheels. So basically, that's the 30mm ID rim, right? With the bird spokes. And then that's very obvious, right? You can see the white spoke. I have the Onyx hub. I'm really digging the Onyx hub, man. The Onyx hubs are awesome. I love them. They're so quiet. This bike is so quiet. This is probably one of the quietest, if not, I would say, it's the quietest bike I've ever ridden, even without the Onyx hub. Because I have two sets of bird wheels. I have the Hawk 30, which are these ones on with the Onyx hubs, and I also have the Hawk 27s with the i9 hubs. And when you're not freewheeling on i9, when you're pedaling, just listening to the bike, it's quiet. But these Onyx hubs, man, the different levels. Like all I hear now is the tires rolling on the dirt. The tire on the ground. That's the main noise I hear, and some wind noise. You guys are probably hearing wind noise. Onyx, way to go. I think I'm gonna sell my Hawk 27 wheels with the i9 hubs on there. I'm digging these Onyx hubs so much. I don't see myself wanting to ride a loud hub anymore. Having a quiet, silent bike, basically. Having a silent bike is just, what an amazing feeling. It's like, it brings so much more to the riding pleasure. You get so much more out of riding. Instead of hearing all the buzzing and all the clinking and clanking, it's just quiet. So I'm really digging it. And these bird wheels, these spokes, bird spokes, they ride really smooth. I can't say, I mean, there's other people that's written and talked about it, so I don't need to. I mean, I'm just adding a little bit, just basically confirming with them, validating with them that these wheels do ride really well, really smooth. The interesting thing with this bike, with the suspension setup it has, front and rear, and the suspension design, the DW6 Onyx, bird spokes, and the one-up handlebar. The one-up handlebar has some vertical compliance. All those things, riding this bike, it feels much smoother and more compliant than its travel suggests. The travel is 130 in the back and 140 in the front, but man, it feels way more than that. It feels like 150 in the back and 150 in the front. It feels, that's how I'm able to deal with rough stuff. And how do you get? You're wondering, how did I get to the number 150? I actually never had a bike with 150. Well, I sort of take that back. I did play around with shock stroke on one of my other bikes to make it 150. But that's compared to the bikes that I have right now, the current bikes that I have right now, and the current setup that I have right now. So the three other bikes that I have, I would say two of them are in the same ballpark as this bike is. This bike, this Atherton130 is a trail bike. I would say, given that it's a 130, but I would say that it's more than just a trail bike. I would say it's an aggressive trail bike. So it'll compete up there with the likes of the 140 bikes, like a Privateer 141, Yeti SB 140, all those type of bikes. So let's compare to my two other trail bikes. So my two other trail bike is a Privateer 141 and a Noli Fugitive 138. Both those bikes are basically 4-bar horselink, right? Horselink 4-bar. And the thing with the 4-bar horselink, it doesn't matter what travel you have, is that we're gonna hit certain bumps, like a square bump on the back wheel. It feels like it's kind of that's like a feeling of pushback, like a feeling of the wheel getting hung up a little bit. So it makes those bumps, those type of bumps, more jarring. Feels more impacted. It feels like, compared to this bike, both those bikes are 29ers, right? And this bike is a 29 as well. But my Noli, I made it into a mullet, so I have a 27 in the back. So if I compare it to, say, the Noli Fugitive, riding the 29 versus the 27, for the 27, when I hit bumps and stuff, I feel a little bit more, right? Rolling, doesn't matter what type of bump it is, rolling over things, I can feel it a little bit more. Whereas the 29er, I can feel that it's a little smoother. So that difference between those two feeling is the same difference that I have with this bike compared to the Fugitive as a 29 or the Privateer 141 as a 29. So this Atherton130 feels that much smoother, that much of a difference. Surprisingly, even though it has, less travel in the back, it doesn't feel like, the back wheel doesn't feel like it gets hung up. It doesn't feel like it's it isn't as impacted hitting those square bumps. So just a smoother ride overall. It also grips really well. Man, does it grip. It climbs, climbing. And you're gonna see that in a few minutes when I start my technical climb. Man, on the Noli, even with the 29er, on the technical climb, it just always, I could never make it. On a privateer, I've only made it once actually, without touching the ground, and that was when I was in shape. Right now I'm not in shape, so I don't think I can make it with this bike either, but I can feel the grip and the traction is that much more. The difference between the Fugitive 138, how much grip that has, compared to the Privateer 141. The 141 climbs better, has more traction. That difference between those two is like the difference between this bike and the 141. It has that much more traction. And the interesting thing is that the Privateer 141, the chainstay, it's a 440, so it's a pretty long chainstay for a trail bike. Whereas the Noli, I think it's 132 or 133, something like that, depending on your geometry setting. But I think it's around that much. So it's a little shorter, about 8 millimeters shorter. This bike is the same. So you're going over to see the bumps, to see the rocks. This bike is smoother than any of my other bikes. So this bike, the chainstay, is also, I think, 432 or something around there, or 433, something like that. So basically it's the same chainstay length as the Noli Fugitive. But this thing has so much, it climbs so well, the traction and the grip is so good that it actually is better than the Privateer 141. And that right there was what really shocked me. I was like, what the heck? And that Privateer 141, it climbs so good. Before the Privateer 141, I had a YT Izzo, and that bike's supposed to climb well, but compared to the Privateer 141, man, the Izzo sucked climbing. It had a short chainstay as well, and it just sucked. Same tires too. I was using the same tires, the Recon. I'm using the Recon tires. Do it on Suron. Not supposed to be here on the Suron, but it doesn't bother me. And he had a little kid with him. I should take my Suron out here. But yeah, the Privateer with the same tires I was using as the YT Izzo, with the same PSI, I climbed better with the Privateer. And I'm not talking about like flat, smooth stuff like I'm right now. This is pretty flat, pretty smooth trail. It's climbing, but it's smooth. I'm talking about technical climbing, rocky climbing, which I'm about to hit in another 100 yards or so. The Privateer just climbed that so good, and this bike climbs that much better than the Privateer 141. So that's what really surprised me. So I like my suspension to be, I'm not a jibby type of rider. I'm not a jibby rider. I don't really do jumps and any of that stuff. I just like to trail ride. And when I see like really rocky stuff, I like to go over the rocky stuff. I like to ride through it. Versus someone that, let's say, if there's a little lip that could let you jump over the rocks. Some people will jump over it. I would choose to ride through it because that's what I like. I like that technicality, the chunk. I like chunk. And this bike is so smooth, do all that stuff. much better than anything else I have. Hell, I could even compare this bike to my Privateer 161. So I like the Privateer I like Privateer so much, the 141 so much, that I bought the Privateer 161 just for this trail that I'm riding right here, the trail I'm on right now. Just dedicated for that because it's so chunky and rocky that, you know, more travel, basically a little bit safer, gives you more control. Everything's a little bit stouter, right? The fork's a little bigger, so it's a little stiffer. Just, you know, you get deflected less. So basically you have more control, safer. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at more control and being safer. And I'm too old to be getting hurt. You know, I can't afford to get hurt. I have too many bills. But this bike rides the stuff just about as smooth as my Privateer 161, which is what really shocked me. See, now it's getting chunky. Technical climbing. Again, I'm kind of out of shape right now, so, oh god damn it, I couldn't make it. If I shut my mouth, I could probably make it, but talking kind of gets you winded. It doesn't, you know, you don't get to breathe correctly when you talk. But as far as like riding over this stuff, this bike rides just about as good as a Privateer 161, and it hits, and you know, even though the 161 is 161, it's still horse length far bar. So when it hits those square edges, square bumps, it still has that feel, that hang up, right? Whereas this bike doesn't. So this bike, on those bumps, this bike will actually roll over those bumps smoother, even though it has 30 millimeters less travel. But when it's not that type of square bump, I do feel the 141. I do feel the extra travel. So in that regard, it's a little smoother. But the advantage that the 161 has over this bike, going over this stuff, besides that little bit of extra travel, everything's bigger. You know, the fork's bigger, stiffer, so so you have a little bit more control. You don't get deflected from the rocks as much. You're able to keep your line. You're able to track better because you're not being deflected. Whereas, you know, with this bike, you know, this is a Pike 140. Pike 140 only has a 35 millimeter stanchions, whereas the Privateer 161 has a Fox 38. So that's a lot. So that fork is way bigger than this fork is. But because of this frame, this chassis, it's so good that it mixed up and it rides so well. Hello. See, now it's getting technical and rocky. Depends on how I feel. If I feel shitty, I could never make up this. Doesn't matter what bike I have. I just don't have the energy level or the fitness level. And right now, I definitely don't have the fitness level. I'm still out of shape from traveling all summer long. But the suspension, oh shit. Okay, I couldn't pedal anymore. My legs couldn't keep it up. Oh, yeah, also could be because I rode yesterday too, so I'm still tired from yesterday. I don't normally ride back to back, but I had to take advantage of the cloudy day today. It's cooler. Yesterday was so hot, I almost overheated. Today it's a lot cooler, way cooler. It's like 20 degrees cooler today than it was yesterday. Whew. Yeah, so my legs are still tired from yesterday. But yeah, so that's the main reason why, for this particular trail, because it's so chunky. The Privateer 161, I bought that bike just for this trail here, for this place that I ride, and I ride this place because the space is in my backyard. I don't have to drive anywhere. I just ride from my driveway. Because I hate driving places to do stuff. I'd rather do it right from right from my driveway. So with this, with this trail, because I ride it. Oh god dang it, wasn't kept in. Because I ride it. I would say I ride this trail at least the minimum, the very bare minimum is 90% of my riding is at this trail. This loop that I do, I call it a figure eight loop because, well, it's not a figure eight anymore because I don't do the figure eight pattern anymore, but just climbing up this trail and go back down. But yeah, so that's why I got the Privateer 161, because I got it just for this, for the chunkiness. And potentially if I were to, let's say, go on a road trip, travel, having more suspension, a little stoutier, more control, it's a little safer. If I travel, go to new trails, when you ride new trails, you don't know what's there, you ride it for the first time, you don't know what to expect. So it's better to be a little bit over bike than it is to be under bike in an unfamiliar trail. So it's basically just safer that way. You don't want to travel and crash and get hurt from that. All right. See, going up and stuff, it's a piece of cake. I could climb up this bike I could climb any other bike I've ever had. Oh man, again, talking doesn't let me breathe. Whew. See that little technical section? I was able to clear. Oh fuck, I'm out of breath. But then everyone found out. I lost breath because I was talking too much. Oh fuck. Oh my god. Oh, my legs are all wobbly. Can't even walk straight. Whew. Yeah, the trail here. Again, you see how rocky it is. I've only been able to climb up this trail once without touching my foot on the ground at all. That was actually last Thanksgiving when I was in my peak fitness. Ever since I gotten back to mountain biking, that was I peaked out right there. After that, it just went downhill. So I'm just trying to get back to it again. I don't think I can this year because I just didn't have enough time. Oh shit, god damn it. I didn't have enough time to ride. That's the thing with riding. Dang. Oh my god. My legs are so wobbly I can't even support my own weight. Shit. But this bike makes climbing so much easier. It's like, oh god damn it. My legs are so weak right now. I can barely pedal. Jeez, that's bad. Okay, maybe today's not wasn't a good day to ride because I don't have energy. Don't have energy. My legs are so weak from yesterday. I'm having a hard time pedaling. But this bike is so forgiving. Yes. And that's exactly what it is. It's very forgiving. This bike is it's easy. Lack of a better word. It's like really easy to ride. I mean, it's really easy to ride. It feels very natural. Everything feels natural. Climbing feels natural. Descending feels natural. God dang it. Everything just feels so natural on this bike. Oh, I need to stop talking. I'm not breathing right when I'm talking. Okay, let's try to stop talking for this last section. See if I can make it up without talking, and make it up without having to put my foot down and stopping. Yeah, I'm just out of shape. That's the thing. Okay, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Okay, that's where the trail feels like it's getting rougher and rougher. It's probably true because the more it gets used, the more beat up it is, the more eroded it gets. Oh man, and I didn't eat breakfast either. It's like, I think it's already 5 o'clock. I think it's about 5 o'clock right now. I did not eat breakfast. I barely even had a real lunch. I think I ate a couple of plums, some beef jerky, and that was it. That was my lunch. Oh, so I got no freaking energy. So, yeah. So I think that surprised me about this bike is, well, I mentioned the chainstay length. That's a pretty typical chainstay length because that's right, 432 or something like that. Comes out to about, 430 or so. Comes out to about, yeah, I think it's 432. Comes out to be about 432, maybe 433. Comes out to 17 inches. So that's kind of the magic number, 17 inches for chainstay on mountain bikes. So that's been true since the day of shit. Oh man, I completely lost my line. Lost my focus. Shit. Oh fuck, I'm so tired. Oh shit. I have no energy. Holy shit. Completely bonking out right now. Shit, I'm not even breathing that hard, but completely bonking out. But yeah, 17 inches is about, it's the kind of the secret number that pretty much everyone chooses ever since the day of 26-inch mountain bikes. Since 26. All right, I had to stop to change the batteries, but also take a piss and clear out the lens. The lens is actually fogged up because I had just washed the camera. I mentioned earlier that I went on a road trip, or maybe I didn't. But anyways, early in the summer, I went on a cross-country road trip, and I was using this same camera to record, do a time lapse. And on that road trip across the country, I was riding my scooter, and I crashed 3 times. All 3 crashes were in the dirt. Actually, the first one was a sand pit. The second one was I think it was gravel. Then the third one was a mud bog. Anyways, the mud bog got the camera all muddy. When I got home, I just left it as is. I didn't clean it up. So there was all this dirt still on it. So I just washed it before this ride. So everything's still kind of wet, so it fogged up the lens. But anyways, where was I? Talking about earlier. About the bike or the geometry. 17 inches chainstay. So that's kind of the magic number. So it's kind of like where everyone picks the reason why that they use that number, because that number, you could ride with it, but at the same time you can still jump easy with it, and do manuals and wheelies and you know, be jibby, even though that's not my riding style. I'm not a jibby rider at all. I'm a glue to the ground kind of rider. I like my suspension tuned to keep my tires glued to the ground. It doesn't matter if I'm climbing or I'm descending. That's what I like. But this bike, you know, you can tune it that way, or you can make it playful too. You know, the Athertons, all three of them are gravity racers, right? And they love to jump. Boy, do they love to jump. So they make sure that all their bikes could jump pretty good. This one including, right? Including this one. So there's no question about that. But again, and I knew that coming in when I bought this bike. You know, I knew the background, and that's sort of the reason why I picked it. Not the jumping jibby aspect of it, but the aspect of being an aggressive trail bike. You know, because, you know, knowing they like to go downhill more than uphill. So I wanted an aggressive trail bike, and this is it. That just has enough travel. I don't need much more than, realistically, with the good suspension design like this, I don't need much more than what it is. 130 seems to be perfect. I can ride this trail here just fine, up or down, and I definitely want to be able to climb, because it makes it that much more rewarding to climb up a trail. And when you go down, it feels that much better versus taking the fire road up. I used to, back in the day, before I started climbing up this trail, I used to go up the other way. There's another way up here, and it's on the fire road. So I used to do that. That was, me and my friend called that the figure eight loop, because you know, you did this trail in a figure eight configuration. But I stopped doing that because it's just a fire road. And I hate riding fire roads. It's boring as fuck. It's not the reason why I'm mountain biking. The reason why I'm mountain biking is because I want to ride single track. I want to ride technical. I want to climb technical. And I want to go descend technical. Because I don't quite get as much enjoyment out of climbing as I do descending, but it's pretty damn close. You know, as far as enjoyment and how rewarding it is, I say climbing is probably 40% of the enjoyment, and descent is the 60%. So I've done shuttle runs at various places in bike parks and stuff. The riding, those trails are fun and all, but it just didn't feel complete when you do that type of riding. It just didn't feel complete to me. So that's why I want to make sure whatever trail bike I have, it has to not just descend well, it has to climb well too. And this bike literally checks all of my boxes. Climbs well, descends well. It's relatively light considering how many pivots it has and how many bearings it has. And that's, you know, it's not fully carbon. It's still lighter than all my other bikes by a few pounds easily. And that's fully equipped too. That's like with the pump, CO2 canister or CO2 little CO2 cartridge, the little toolkit, right? The one-up toolkit I have in my headset here. So all that still, this whole bike still weighs 2-3 pounds lighter than my my next lightest bike, which is my Noli, and I think that bike weighs 34 pounds. So this bike weighs, was it 31 pounds? I can't remember now. And then whatever the case, it's like a couple pounds lighter for sure. But the really important thing, it's actually not the frame weight. That doesn't matter that much. The important thing in the weight is the wheels. The wheels and the tires. When you have lighter wheels and tires, man, it rides so much easier. And fast rolling tires too. Fast rolling tires ride so much better than slow rolling tires. Man, slow rolling tires really sap your energy. Yeah, see, I'm doing the same trail that I did yesterday on my Privateer 161. And yesterday I was fresher yesterday. And I was having, because that bike is like probably 5 pounds, at least 4 pounds, if not 5 pounds heavier than this bike is. And a lot of that weight is actually in the tires and the wheels. I would say most of that weight difference is in the tires and the wheels. Man, I'm sweating. I'm actually dripping sweat down my eyebrows. So that bike, riding the same trail yesterday, I was definitely more tired, more exhausted, because I had to carry so much weight. And today I'm already low on energy and exhausted from yesterday's ride. I still actually feel like my muscles and heart and lungs feels better, feels stronger than on this bike than the other bike. But it's just my energy level is really low. I have no energy right now. I'm just bonking. I think because I didn't eat anything this morning. I'm going up this on a taller gear too. Right now I'm on a 45 tooth cassette, but I'm on the second gear. First gear is 45 tooth. Second gear I think it's 39. So I'm riding up right now on 39 tooth on my Privateer 161. I have to ride this up on the 51 tooth. Otherwise, it's too damn heavy. My muscles, I'm a skinny guy with skinny little legs, skinny little chicken legs, so I don't have that muscle mass to push the same way that guys with big thighs, big muscular legs do. I just have to use the gearing, the torque multiplier on the gearing to get me up, and use my lightweight as an advantage when I'm not carrying so much weight compared to someone who's bigger than me. Oh man, I need a break. I need to drink some water. Oh boy. Yeah. So these split wheels are amazing. They feel so light. Even though these tires I have are heavy. Well, they're heavy-ish. They're about 1,000 grams. They're heavier than the Recon 2.6. The Recon 2.6 is around 800 and what is it? 820 I think it is, or it's under 850. So it's like 100 and was it like 160 or 180 grams lighter than these tires are, but and I think they roll faster than these tires too. These tires roll pretty fast, but the Recon rolls faster. But because these bird wheels, the carbon fiber rim and the bird spoke is so light that oh, I got sweat on my glasses. It's a little blur right there. Couldn't see. Yeah, these wheels are so light that even though the tires are a little bit heavier, they still feel lighter than my Privateer 141 with the Recon. With the Recon, is that fucking snow? It is snow. Well, I'm not sure you guys can see it, but straight ahead, that's neither snow or that's the sun shining through and hitting the peak of that ridge right there, because it seems very bright. It could be the sun, but it doesn't look sunny in that spot. In other words, the patch of snow. No, it can't be snow. Nothing else here has snow. I see all the high peaks over here. That's way taller. There's no snow there. There's no snow over there. So no, I don't think that's snow then. I think that's just the sun. Oh, that little patch over there in the grass towards the bottom of the hill. See how it's bright? That's probably the sun. That's the sun. But so up on the ridge, it's probably the sun as well. Yeah. So this is a sweet bike. Oh man, no riding tomorrow. I'm gonna be too poop. Normally I ride no more than 3 times a week. If I do ride like 3 times a week, I ride like every other day to give myself some rest. This yesterday and today I rode, and bad idea. When you get older, you can't recover the same. Like when you were, when I was in my 20s, I could ride back-to-back days and I was fine, but I ain't in my 20s anymore. Oh man, okay. Let's go down. So going down, there's gonna be a lot of wind noise, so and you guys probably can't hear me anyways on the way down, so I'm just gonna have to, hopefully I can focus because my energy level is so low. It's hard to focus when you're low energy. Oh shit. Oh, wrong brakes. You gotta have, on this bike I had the front brakes on the right. On my other bikes, the front brakes on the left. So this bike set up moto style. Oh shit, god damn it, did it again. Too much front brake there. Good thing about these tires is that they're pretty grippy, and the more important thing than that is that they're very predictable. I think predictability is on the tire is more important than grip. If you have a bike that has like really good traction and grip, but if it's unpredictable compared to this one, compared to something that's doesn't have as much traction but is very predictable, I take the predictability better over, because you just have, when it's more predictable than that, you just have more control. You know how much to push it and how much not to push it. For something that's not predictable, man, you just don't know. You know, 1 second you're perfectly fine, the next second you have no traction at all, and you eat it, or close to eating it. That's just too damn sketchy. You know, so that's where I prefer bike over tires that are a little bit, has a little bit less traction but more predictable than a bike that has more traction, or excuse me, not a bike but a tire that has more traction but it's less predictable. What's a good example of that is the Maxxis Assegai. Those tires have really good traction, but when you lean them over, man, at some point they just slide out. You're like, what the hell? Completely unexpected. Those tires have, those tires probably have one of the most traction, if not the most traction out there, but they don't have that predictability when you're really cornering on them. So I'd rather have a tire that has less traction and not give out of that. I'm not sure you can hear it over the wind noise or not, but you don't hear the back at all. All you hear is the tires. Hello, thank you. All you hear is the tires on the ground, and maybe it's the suspension working, and when I'm shifting. Otherwise, this bike is completely silent. The suspension is silent, everything is just quiet. Love it. Man, usually carbon, that's the thing I don't like about carbon bikes, is that they tend to be kind of loud, but this bike, nope, none of that. It's so quiet. A big part of that is that it has the, for the lines, for the internally routed lines, they have a housing for that. They have a little tube for the line to go through, so the lines don't just flop around inside the frame making noise. That's how my YT Iso was. Man, the YT Iso, that was a noisy bike. It was a carbon front. I had the lowest model, so it was carbon front and aluminum rear. But it was a noisy bike, man. It was so noisy, I didn't like it. It bothered me. It was like, it took the zen out of riding with these Onyx hubs. Man, this bike is so quiet. I feel much more in tune with nature than I do on this bike than I've had any other bike in the past, because it's so damn quiet, so smooth. The suspension is so smooth. Oh my god, I think the rear suspension feels a little better than the front suspension, just because of this DW6, how well it works. like, wow. So yeah, I'm digging it. Whew, man. I'm not sure I could do the other climb. I have no energy. I think I'm gonna cut the ride short. Not do the other climb just because my energy levels just non-existent right now. I'm just completely, oh my god. And my heart's not pumping very hard. My heart rate's very low actually, relatively speaking. But I just have no energy, man. I'm just completely bunked. Should have ate breakfast this morning, but I didn't. That's on me. Even up downhill, I wasn't going as good as I could have. I wasn't going as fast because I was so tired. Whew. Energy level. Whew. If I wasn't tired, I would make a right up here, climb up this hill up here. Then go down the hill, then climb up a couple of switchbacks, and back down a couple of switchbacks, then back up a couple of switchbacks again, and then back down again. But not today. The other thing about this bike is that it's stiff, but it doesn't feel. The chassis is stiff, but it doesn't feel real stiff. It feels just right, and it tracks. It tracks just where I want it to track. There's no harshness in the chassis. There's no sting. Man, what an amazing frame. Man, the Athertons and Dave Wiggle, along with whatever other engineers they had over there, they did it just right, man. I'm digging it. Fast here, otherwise there's a blind curve. You don't want to head on collision with another rider or spook a horse. You see all the horse shit. We have horses up here, so you don't want to spook a horse. Yeah, this rear end hits these bumps just as good as the front does. Normally, a fork always hits a bump. It feels, the fork usually always feels better when it hits a bump than the rear end does. But this bike, the suspension, man, it hits the rear end. It feels like the front end, smoother. It doesn't have the jarringness that a rear end usually has when it hits, especially a square bump. So I think that's because the axle, the rear wheel extends, it grows, I think. You know, there's not too many designs that does that, where the back wheel grows. Most designs, the back wheel actually shrinks, or it tucks in. It goes closer to the center of the bike. Whereas this one, the back wheel, it feels like it goes away from the center. So it goes in the same path as the kind of like the front wheel. How it flows with the bump. Oh, okay, it's much the end of the ride, where I actually still have I think 2 or 3 miles left till home, but this is the end of the trailhead. Whew, man, I think I have to do another video when I'm feeling good, because today I do not feel good. So tired. All right, thanks for watching.